guys, my name is Emilie Vanderplate. I am Jordan Vanderplate's wife, and I am also pregnant. And that is the topic of our video today. So this is my first pregnancy, and I've just been finding out throughout the whole pregnancy that I actually don't know anything about being pregnant, and that it's actually harder than people let on, and that there's a lot more going on than just morning sickness. And there's a lot of things that I wish I would have known at the beginning, and tips and tricks that would have been helpful having known from the get-go. And so we thought, why not make a video? So the first thing that was so helpful for me in regards to morning sickness, a friend told me to take Unisom sleep tabs and B6 vitamins, and I took those every night, pretty much every night of my first trimester once the morning sickness was really getting bad, and I just felt like I couldn't get out of the fog of fatigue and nausea and occasional vomiting. So I started taking Unisom B6, Unisom sleep tabs, and B6 vitamins every night. After like a couple weeks, it got built up in my system, and it really helped to lift the nausea. The fatigue was still there, but not as bad because I wasn't constantly nauseous. It does take a little bit for it to build up in your system, and I don't know chemically what it is about the sleep tabs plus the B6, but I do know that the combination between the two, it mimics one of the morning sickness like drugs that you would need a prescription for, but it's like way cheaper and you don't need a prescription. You can just go to CVS and grab those two things and you're on your way. That's like my biggest trick for morning sickness. It helped me a lot. Another thing is Prego Pops or Preggy Pops. Not sure what they're called, but I'll put all of the things that I talk about, I'll put links to them at the bottom. But yeah, they're just like a natural little lozenge. You pop it in your mouth. They only really worked for me in the morning, and they're basically just like sugar and essential oils. I mean, but they worked in the morning. They worked for me to just suck on one of those. It kind of lifted the morning nausea. Another thing that I was suggested for morning sickness was to do an enema, and I did do an enema twice. It did not really help me, but the argument was that if your body is really sick, it's telling you not to eat because there's a buildup of toxins in your system, and so the enema would help to just like flush everything out. Didn't work for me because I also have a magical ability to be constipated, like a lot, pre-pregnancy and definitely in pregnancy. So the enema wasn't like an amazing fix for me, but I wanted to mention it just because it could work for you if you're down, and pretty much after a few weeks of nausea, you're like down to try anything to get it away. So I just thought I'd mention it. I tend to struggle with motion sickness, and I get car sick a lot. I'll get motion sick in a boat, in a plane, in a car, in a train, whatever. And that was actually made worse in my pregnancy. Yeah, still is a problem, and I'm in my third trimester. And so a friend gave me her seasickness bands, and I think she gave them to me in my second trimester, but I wish I would have grabbed them in my first trimester and just worn them like whenever I was driving in a car, whenever someone else was driving, especially, I would get more sick. And so just putting those on my wrists and having that little ball push on the pressure point in my wrist really helped to prevent more motion sickness. Just for like general health and wellness, so I take a prenatal vitamin. Haven't been doing that perfectly religiously every day, but try to take it every day. And I was also recommended to take minerals because we supplement with vitamins, but our body also needs minerals. Not sure what the key minerals are that we need, but I know that we need them. And so in my first trimester, I bought like a jug of liquid minerals, and we'll put a link to those minerals below. But those also really helped, both me and my husband. Not that he was having morning sickness, but he just felt generally really healthy while we were on those. And so I'd recommend also supplementing minerals in addition to your prenatal vitamin. Just to lift the fatigue, things that I found helpful. I mean, everyone says nap as much as you can. I'm not a huge napper. Of course I would just like lay down and rest. But the things that really helped me were getting outside if the weather's good, going on walks, like every day if you can, 5 days a week is great, even if it's just like a mile. Being outside, getting sunshine, and also like getting those endorphins going is really helpful for the fatigue and just for general morale and feeling hopeful for the future. Also drinking lots of water, which I know is hard in your first trimester. So you're just feeling nauseous, you don't want to put anything in your body, but the water does help. And then the last thing is essential oils. I'm not like a crazy essential oil fanatic. I don't know everything there is to know about essential oils, but I did have some of doTERRA's Breathe essential oil, and I would just, it's like a combination of different mints, like peppermint, probably eucalyptus is in there too, but I would just put it like right here beneath my ear or on my neck, or put it in the palm of my hand and then breathe it in, and that also just helped to lift some of the nausea. Like, you know, when you got to go through life still, you got to go out and meet people, you got to go to the grocery store, you got to go to meetings. Just helps to like feel fresh, helped me at least. So yeah, those are all of my tips and tricks for first trimester. Stay tuned, I'm going to make another video for second trimester tips and tricks.